Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing a video on my thoughts on the Black Panther trailer 2 and that. So yeah, I mean, it starts pretty weird, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know what to think about it. It looks decent. I mean, it definitely subverted my expectations, and by that I mean like it wasn't quite obviously what I expected. I mean, I think to my limited understanding of Black Panther as a character, I always thought he was this person who originated from Africa and was like this sort of like god, and there was maybe some sort of tribal thing there and that. But then in this trailer it's like very Thor-like, and that, you know, like with the futuristic cities and stuff. So I mean, I'd be curious to find out if the guy who or person who directs the Thor 1 and or 2 and even Ragnarok, you know, any of the Thor films, if they directed this or not, you know, I don't know. There seems to be a lot of action in it. Obviously it's a Marvel film, what do you expect? But to the point where I felt like it was rather Michael Bay-esque, which, yeah, isn't really a compliment. I mean, like, just really quick action, like, really quick cuts, but okay, there was action, but then there was some sort of car chase scenes and shit blowing up, and that's what made me think of Michael Bay, which is not good. No one needs that in their life. But I don't know. I mean, obviously this releases before Infinity War Part 1 and that, so this, and if you've already seen Infinity War Part 1, the trailer for that, not the film, but the trailer for that, then you'll know that's coming out in March. This is coming out in February, so, which would make sense considering Black Panther is in Infinity War Part 1. Now the thing is, isn't Black Panther in a bunch of other Marvel films? It's just I haven't watched a Marvel film, or I haven't got all of the Marvel films, and I haven't watched one of them in quite a while, so I'm a bit confused. You know, the whole timeline thing is rather confusing at this point, and I guess in that respect it is becoming a bit more like hard work than actual enjoyment to keep up with these films. So yeah, I think as well what was odd was the guy from Age of Ultron, one of the weapons dealer person who was in Africa and or Nigeria, Africa sort of place like that in Age of Ultron. Marvel's Avengers, the second Avengers film, Age of Ultron. There was a villain, there was a weapons dealer who was in, I think in that film, based in Nigeria or Africa or something, and the Avengers go there, and Ultron does some stuff, and you know, there's a bit there, and a sequence of the film is there, but there's a character in that who seems to be in this, which I'm curious as to see, or figure out whether or not he's been in other films or other Marvel films and that, you know. He seems to be one of the main villains, maybe, I'm assuming, but he doesn't seem to have too much oomph to him, any substance. He's not like a Lord Snoke or anything, you know. He's not got any real substance to him, or real definitive, like, you know, purpose really, or there's no, well, not even purpose, but I can't really tell what his motives are from this trailer, whether or not that's because obviously they want to clearly keep that for the film, I don't know, but because it's going to be like an oh shit moment if I see this film, which I don't know. I don't think I will watch this film. Don't get me wrong, it does look decent, it just looks a lot more Thor-esque than I anticipated, which is a bit annoying, and that, because again, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the idea of the Black Panther, and I think, obviously, in the year 2017, I think it's very important and, beneficial to have a predominantly, you know, black cast be in a film, you know, as the main characters as well, you know, and that. I think the only white people that I can think of, the villain and the guy who plays Watson in Sherlock Holmes, and besides that I think every other probably actor and actress are black, so which isn't you know, isn't something. It is a good thing, but it's not something that should. I don't know, like it. It's just there, isn't it? Really, I don't even know why I drew attention to it. Really, I'm just trying to think of something to talk about in this film, but yeah. All I can think of is it looks more Thor-like than I anticipated. I like the music for the trailer. I really like the music for the trailer. It's very catchy. It sort of goes with the fast-pacedness of the thing, and I like the whole, you know, this thing, like when they do that sort of thing. And the bit when he's like falling down that thing, you know, that like bit of the ship, and it's like, you know. I really like the Black Panther suit. The suit looks pretty badass, and that he looks like a badass. I love that bit where he's like, you know, like gets the claws out sort of thing, and you know, what would have been better is if there would have been a bit of a run up, you know, or a jump or something, and he's about to, you know, like claw someone, like he claws the screen or something, and then it has like Black Panther in writing, but then has like an effect of like that is clawed, like the writing of that maybe, or something like that would have been pretty cool. But instead they kind of just have it where he's like sort of like, you know, like sternly walking about in the city. Oh, he's just going with the claws, then he just like walks up and about the in the city sort of thing. It's a bit, I don't know, it's hard to explain really. The costume kind of looks like very sort of Iron Man-esque, like it looks like it might be like machinery-esque, which again in the comic books I'm sure it's more sort of a costume-esque thing, you know, like more like a thing like Peter Parker would have than say something Tony Stark would have. But then in this, the costume looks very Tony Stark, Iron Man-esque, and then what's weird is like his mannerisms of sorts when he like gets. Like, there's a bit where, like, the car blows up or something happens where he ends up, like, wall crawling or walking on a building, on the side of a building, and I'm like, what the hell? This is not Spider-Man. You're not a wall crawler. Why are you on the side of a building? You know, I thought that was a bit weird, personally, but yeah, I don't know, I mean, I don't know enough about the character to know whether or not this is very this character, you know, like I know more about Iron Man and sort of, you know, Spider-Man and some of the other characters, you know. I think at this point Marvel are very much sort of, okay, they've you know, very much done their top tier and or, you know, secondary tier sort of heroes. They're really sort of going through the slowly working their way down to the sort of back catalogue. Not that I'm saying Black Panther is part of the backlog and or back catalogue, but you have to admit he's not proper top tier, you know, Iron Man, Spider-Man and or Captain America level of recognition and mass sort of, you know, recognition amongst your average moviegoer and or Joe Blogs on the street, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a observation and or a point that I might make or have made even. But yeah, I mean, I hope the film does well. It's coming out same month as my birthday, February. And yeah, it's coming before Infinity War Part 1. That comes out in March, which makes sense because again, this film, well, is based primarily around Black Panther. I mean, I don't think we're going to have any other people connected to this, and I would hope not. I think it would really sort of water it down and drag this film down a bit, personally, to have it so interconnected with another film, or have, you know, I don't know, Doctor Strange be in it, or Thor, or whomever else they could shoehorn in, because that's what it'd feel like at this point. It'd feel like, you know, very much like they're just shoehorning them in, you know. And I guess that's the one major criticism of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole I could have, which is that, you know, sometimes because it's a big universe, sometimes that in itself dampens the times when they try and do, you know, an Iron Man film or a Thor film for the first time, or Captain America, or in this case a Black Panther movie, or an Ant-Man, you know, when they've got loads of other stuff having to interconnect to it. So yeah, unless it's fairly integrated well, coherently with the story of Black Panther, then that will be fine, of course. But if it feels like, okay, this is a Black Panther movie, cut to a random bit about Doctor Strange, then back to a Black Panther bit, and then yeah, there was just a bit with Doctor Strange or Iron Man or whomever. But I don't know, I mean, it has the potential to be good, and I hope it does well, because, you know, it is a character that I'm assuming there are people who like the character, and I hope the film is good for those people who want to see it. So yeah, this was my thoughts on the Black Panther Trailer 2. Thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.